It is. Yeah, sorry, yeah, so it's picking up audio on this, okay. Double check, because those mics aren't showing that they're on. But, oh, because the mics are up there, never mind. Okay, they moved it. There's too many. Okay, let's go ahead and start.
Okay, welcome everybody to the June 18th, 2025 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. It is 6:15. Let's just go around and state our names for the roll and then we can move on.
Great. Annie Balmer, Angie Quinlan,
Jason Wiggins,
Melissa Day,
Marsha Badri,
Jordan Putnam,
Mike Barnhill,
Wendy Edsett,
Lynn Oracle,
Gary Free.
Kathy Free, Nancy Nichols.
Jennifer Shrimsky.
Excellent. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from last month? I wasn't here, so I don't know how accurate they are. Did anyone have any changes?
I was gonna have some changes.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry. And I don't have those up.
Trouble.
I have all the blame.
I sent
Jen
it
was like-
out asking everybody
To me,
do it, and only one person did, so
but it was after you wanted them.
that's.
But at least
you looked.
Just tidying some things up and making sure the links are right and the organizations are right.
I mean, you did bring the special feature people.
So it's nothing substantive.
Yeah, so the changes, sure. That to the bottom. I want to make sure this is actually showing. Changes here. Okay. Okay, so most of the changes were on the Utah Women's History Initiative presentation. And it was kind of more clarifications, things like that. I'll just kind of slowly scroll through, but if you want me to stop for longer, let me know. I don't know if anybody else has had any other changes. I think that was the only changes. Yeah, so that was the last of one.
okay.
Great.
Then can I get a motion to approve the minutes with Wendy's changes adopted?
I motion to approve the minutes with Wendy's changes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Okay. Next on the list is the RLS.
Yes. So we have Kirk Huffaker here to give us an update on what's going on. Let me see. So give me a second, I'll get it loaded up.
Be obvious which one it is when it opens. Well, hi, everybody. Good to see you. And excited to present you some preliminary results from the surveys. And I don't know I mean, a little bit about my background. I've been in historic preservation for about 30 years here in Utah. And while I was a preservation advocate for Preservation Utah, back then Utah Heritage Foundation, I did a lot in Draper. Worked with the commission a lot, saving buildings. Some of the early moves of buildings were part of things we discussed with the commission. And I did a lot of door knocking and the hang tags on doors when we were trying to save Draper Park School the second time. So I've been involved with the school building several times in saving it. So love Draper, love the history of it. So really pleased that we were able to help you out and do this work on the survey. It's coming up here.
Plug it. I feel like it's not escaped. There. Oh, that's what I didn't get last time. Okay. So. Like, let me, wait. Oh, yeah, sorry. Now, you can kind of control that PowerPoint.
Great. Okay. So just real quick recap on project background. We were asked to do 2 separate survey areas, Kimball's Lane and Town Center around the track stations. And there was a radius drawn. And if you remember, some of you may have been involved in selecting certain sites within those project areas. So we got really specific on what you wanted surveyed in those areas, which is great for us because we know right what to go to. And so that outlined everything. And if you don't know what we do as architectural historians when we go out in the field, I'll tell you a little bit about that. This is our evaluation process where, we'll walk up in front of a house, say like this house on the right, and we'll start to break it down into the different facets or characteristics of it. Sometimes in this order, sometimes it's just random and, we go as fast as we can. So of course, we'll write down the address, make sure it corresponds with the map that we're using. So we're in the right location. Then we'll start to think about, okay, well, what is its age or date of construction? What era does it fit into? And a lot of these things also help us determine what that age is or that date of construction. So we'll look at the materials. So, on this house, its primary building material is going to be stucco. We don't usually note the roof, or if there's a major secondary material, we will note that. But in this case, in this house, really, stucco is the major exterior sheathing on the building. So that's what we know. We'll note the style. So in this case, we might call it Mediterranean Revival or Spanish Colonial Revival, because the 2 major features that call that out is this swoop here with this porch, and then the swoop that sort of goes over the door and the recessed arched entry. The stucco also is a character defining feature in Mission or Spanish Colonial Revival buildings. A lot of times we'd see a Spanish clay tile roof on those types of buildings. If we look at a historic photo of this, we might see that. but in this case, it's been replaced. It didn't have to have that, but it may. And that would be a bigger character defining feature if we were able to find a photo that showed that. But those are some of the elements of the style that help point that out to us. You know, the form, we would point out that while it's fairly symmetrical, it's an irregular form with a sort of L shape, at least as far as what we can see on the front. Use, of course, is single family residential. Landscape features, you know, nothing really here to call out, you know, no, except maybe, I mean, I might call out this urn. This might be built into this front concrete wall, which would be very unique. Not necessarily a landscape feature, it's part of the building itself, but you know, things like that do appear in the landscape and are worth calling out. We'll go back, you know, start to assess the age or date of construction for this house. You know, it's going to be in this region somewhere between 1915 and 1945. And we look at the context around it. Are there other buildings from that era? Is this on a corner? Because usually corners get built first, at least on city blocks. This happened to be on a corner, so it was probably on the earlier side of development. So that helps us come down with the age. We'll start to evaluate it. Is it eligible for the National Register? That's when we start to think about, well, what changes have there been? And really the big change on this house is replacement windows. So they've done a fairly nice job matching what might have been historic. We can't really tell that until we see a historic photo. But they're obviously new materials and not the historic windows. But that's not a deal breaker. So we'd probably evaluate that as what we use as a letter B, which is eligible or contributing to the National Register. We note any outbuildings on the site, sheds, garages, things like that. And we take at least 2 photographs. So we try to do all that in about 3 minutes. So it's quick. Any questions? That's sort of how we go through it. Okay. All right, so let's talk about some findings. Remember, these are preliminary. We're still working out some of the data and things. So here's the Kimball's Lane area survey boundary. And you'll see outlined in the pink here are the parcels that were selected in here. And it was super helpful, Jennifer, to have the GIS data from the city because this was already in GIS. So we just pulled it into ours. Easy to label with addresses, and out in the field we went. So, oh, that's so blurry. Darn it. What's up with that? It was a little table, of course, and I mean big so you could see it, but now it's like super blurry. But these are the statistics that will also be in the report. So like I just went through, you know, we break down, we quantify all of those statistics that we look at. So you have an idea of, okay, well, in this area, for instance, what are the primary construction materials of these buildings? And, you know, we do some analysis in the report, try to pick out some trends, things like that. This is fairly typical for most Utah towns. Most of them are brick or masonry in terms of construction materials. And then veneers is behind that. So veneers include mainly stucco, aluminum siding, and vinyl siding. Okay. If it's a metal siding, it falls under metal. If it's not aluminum siding, it falls under metal. If it's wood, but say it's plywood, like T111, it'll fall under wood instead of a veneer. Okay, because it's still a wood sheathing. So, you know, when you get some of those in this area too, T111 is a mid-century material. So it's usually pretty easy to spot. Okay. So we'll just go through these fairly quickly. How much time do I have? I should have. You can
Well,
cut me off.
I mean, we started late, we've got a lot on the agenda, so.
So hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go real quick. So of course, the majority of buildings in the Kimball's Lane area are residential. But there is a spread of types of use. Height, usually with single family residential, you will also get a low density of height. So that really corresponds to the use of many times. Architectural style, these are sort of the big broad categories, not the broken down subcategories of different types of architecture. But, really the most are from the post-war period and even late 20th century. So those are two different categories of styles, which is going to be the majority of what makes up the Kimball's Lane area. So things that come after 1945. Early 20th century is going to be more like bungalows, arts and crafts, things like that. And then a smattering of other representations of style. Construction date, right now it's broken down into roughly 25-year periods. Just like I was talking about in terms of style, this is where you get most of the results is in these time periods right here. So, and that reflects really the growth of the community as well. And this is a pretty good curve because most communities did grow in that post-war period. But you have a nice representation of very early periods, and you have some representation of later periods. So the period of historical period that we're tying to this project goes up to 1978. So anything before 1978, we are calling historic in terms of age. Okay, that's gonna freak some people out. Okay. Okay, 70s are historic. So really anything after that is going to be out of period. And so, that just has a different designation in the report. So here's the evaluation in terms of what's eligible for the National Register. B, this is, the vast majority of properties are contributing or eligible for the National Register. Okay, so that's great. They hold good integrity in terms of its original architecture. They're at least 50 years old. And you can definitely recognize it as a historic building. So that's what we're doing in the reconnaissance survey. From that quick data, can we say it's potentially eligible for the register? X means it's been demolished. So there are some properties that not only were on your list for us to look at that are gone already, but also many properties within this boundary that we looked at that are gone. And so we were just updating data that we got from the SHPO as we were going through the neighborhood, and we're like, oh, look, this one's gone and this one's gone. So there's been a lot of demolition in the area. C is altered, so 50 years old, but has been significantly altered and does not hold architectural integrity any longer. So 18 buildings in this survey area. D is out of period, so after 1979. U is unknown. There's still some data we're trying to figure out. Okay. I'll just show a couple of nice examples of different buildings we saw from photos we took. And like I said, it's a nice range of things. We have commercial, we have different types of residential, different styles, agricultural outbuildings that, reflect the agricultural history of Draper. So, I think some strong examples. I'm not going to show you any bad examples. All right, we'll go through Draper Town Center real quick. So of course, here's the boundary. We have all pink, different sites. All right, same sort of thing. Same sort of layout of information. So brick primary material is the majority of buildings. Veneers again is second. Wood is third. So very similar. Here we have a lot more variation in use, which you would expect in the town center, right? Even though there's one example, of each, that's what you should have in the town center. In addition to more commercial buildings as well. So that number, the percentage of single family residential is much lower here in town center than it is in Kimball's Lane. Okay, height, more variation in height as well. We have many more houses that are 2.5 stories in this area. The 5 is the mill that, it's very tall. So it's a little bit of an outlier on the height. Architectural style, I think much more balanced in terms of different styles, which to me says that it retains a lot more of its historic character from earlier periods. And so, you don't have the curve of styles. Oh, well, we'll get to that. Here. So remember, we had that curve on construction dates. Much more level until you get a bump after the post-war, in the post-war period. And so it retains a lot more of that early architecture here and not as high of a bump. So that leads into the evaluation where you have a slightly higher percentage here of contributing buildings than in Kimball's Lane survey area. You do have more that are rated as a C that have been altered, that are historic in terms of its age. So a lot more changes have happened to historic buildings in this area. And then less demolition. All right, a few strong examples in different styles, commercial, residential. Okay, and so wanted to just bring you up to date on where we're at in the schedule. So after I delivered this draft to Jennifer last week, she said, "Oh, this is great. Can I have more data for town center, and can you come to the meeting?" So yeah, we did the field work last week and got the data together in order to present to you tonight. So we're going to follow up this meeting with that next draft that'll have all of this in it. And so we'll follow up this meeting with that. The 80% draft actually is probably more like 90%. We'll have the historic context in it, and that'll be by the end of the month. So then we'll spend July, the last month on the project, really doing a review, comment period. SHPO will be able to review and comment. We'll get all their feedback on the data as well, and then make final preparations of all the deliverables, including the GIS data. Any other questions? I know that was quick, but.
Great information.
But thank you. All right, excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need this back on.
There you go.
I've forgotten it before. All right, thanks. Have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Now, I'll upload this onto the cloud for you guys. Yeah.
I look forward to reading the final report.
So Kurt, will that report have all of the updates as to structures that are gone?
It will, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you get the whole data table as well, so you can see all the addresses that have X's on. Yeah. So, all right, thanks again.
Thank you. Okay, Angie. Historical Society.
I have my friend Lynn here. Did you have any updates from on your end? I know that David came to the last one and told us what you guys were speaking about a little bit. We did see that you got your information out for the dinner earlier this year. That is really, we're excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. Besides, we've just been kind of talking about cleaning displays up. Because we have so many, and so many in the basement, we can't even display. So we said, we need to just clean up and take out a lot of it. You hate to do that because you don't want to miss part of it, but yeah, we're trying to clean up a little so that it's friendlier instead of looking at everything and then you don't see anything.
Right.
Yeah. But basically, there's not a lot else that we're talking about right now, just kind of.
Did you guys get a chance to update the list of people we want to do the verbal histories on?
They did have a list there, yes, and I'm not sure, we haven't really discussed, I'll have to bring that up with Howard.
Okay.
About, further handling that. Because we used to have one of our guys, Doug Ballard, he did all the video. When our people would go and do the interviews. But now we don't have a video man.
What about the city one?
Pardon?
The city one?
If we could use him, yeah, if we could use Alex or Josh or.
Josh isn't with us anymore. He's, I should have said that way. He doesn't work here anymore. Sorry. But Alex is, I can see their availability. I mean, yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with Draper Days coming up, they're awfully busy right now, so it'd probably be post Draper Days. But yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to these people and set up a time, if they're willing. So, yeah.
I'm sure that with all of our contacts with the kids through the high school, I'm sure there's some kids that would volunteer their time to help run some of the video and interviews with that. And then Wendy got me information about how to be the interviewer for those. So I'm learning about it.
Yeah.
So then back to your discussion, if I could insert myself here. Kind of cleaning up and cleaning up. Could you use some expertise help? Annie, are you?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you actually. I'd love to help if you're interested. Yeah, I volunteer, help with interpretation and making the display cases.
And when we had someone come out
I came to one meeting.
and then did you end up sending us a list of how to look at things and say, this isn't, this is?
That wasn't my list, but it might have come via Annie in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe it was you.
It's possible.
Either go-to for that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
They sent criteria of, I thought it was somebody from the state, yeah. And they sent criteria of looking at items and how to determine, is this worth it? Is it from the area? Is it, the age and all the criteria to look at. So we've started, all of our stuff was accumulated so long ago and so many, hands. And so it's like everything that's dropped off, they've been taking. And some of it doesn't pertain to Draper at all. And we've just realized we've got to make a real breakdown of what we're accepting. Some things are dropped at the porch because we're not open. And it's like, we get there, here's this junk at the door.
Savers is over there.
We have 500 milk bottles, okay, we don't need them all. Yeah, so we're starting to try to clean out a bit.
And may I just insert on something that there's a huge need for a new museum, a big modern one that's of the future. But I visited the Preservation Society, LDS, kind of, I don't know what you call it, archives or whatever. A lot of it's preserving journals, so they don't. A lot of rooms are 55 degrees, some are whatever, some are -7. They didn't tell us in advance. And they said, sometimes we have a kind of now, so you can say the longest, but we don't have to have that, but the temperature is critical. So some of these valuable journals there could be a smaller room in this new museum. But not only that, right now, a fire or something could be stirred. I mean, this stuff is with that. I mean, so you know, I personally made a pledge with I talked with the city manager, and I'm willing to stick in this if we can put it all together so it's some kind of something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the museum of the future, but yeah, that's the biggest problem I see is how do you get rid of the clutter?
What I do, I sent you Annie's contact. Annie now has yours, so you guys can coordinate a time. I mean, that's her job.
Yeah, I would love
So-
to help. I can help you with policy and the legality of things and.
She'll be your go-to.
I can help with labor. I'm not smart at all.
We need that.
You know,
I can move stuff and I can be told what to do.
and that could be, we'll leave you on the list.
I was infantry, I take orders.
Especially if we ever move from there, we will need the labor.
Sure.
But then talk about him saying temperatures and stuff. I mean, that's something we have never been aware of. I know way back a long time ago in the old school, they said we had to have dark curtains at the window to keep the sunlight off. We don't do that anymore. And cleaning out our basement recently, we're not cleaning it out, we're looking at it. But they pulled up a couple of big Tupperware bins that had books in it that were donated. And this bothers me because we don't have law. Who donated them and when and where? But we were looking at some of those, some of them are like, I believe it's German Bible. And I think the oldest one we found is 1817. Wow. And it's like, I said, maybe we should be wearing our white gloves. Yeah. So, yeah, it's.
Family history in it.
Or
It would have family history in it.
I think there wasn't family history, but a lot of them had the same name in the books, and so. But I don't know why they got pushed down there without any logging, because everything that comes in now, we have the accession number system where we log it and who gave it and when, and who it belonged to, etc. But I don't know why these were put down there and when, but they are fantastic books and we have no information on them. So yeah, we need to read them.
They have some stairs that they probably shouldn't be navigating to, so they could probably use some help getting.
That I can help with. I actually have a key to the tool shed across the street too, that we can use to cobble a few things together. I'm sure Greg or Rick would afford me a couple things to help you out with.
Yeah, we kind of asked the city for some more storage and stuff, but that's, you know, to be seen.
Yeah, it's tough.
But yeah, it's, well, is to be.
Yeah, on the safety of things, I don't know, like, I don't know the best way to interject myself there, but I am happy to help kind of come do repairs or even arrange to have other people come help.
That would be great, yeah.
But yeah, that seems like something that would be an easy thing to.
And I know there is a guy with the city, I can't remember his name. Gary, yes,
Yeah.
and he's in charge of kind of that, but if he needs more help in the city, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those things are typically, you know, a couple hours and, you know.
Yeah. But you saying the stairs navigating, we had Esther Kinder that just had an accident in the basement and broke 5 ribs. And at first when they called me and said, Esther has fallen. I'm gonna cry. She's my cousin.
Oh.
But now they said Esther has fallen. And I thought, the first thing I thought, those steep steps. Nope, she was just walking along and caught her toe on a little bit of a carpet that connected to the linoleum and boom.
She wasn't on the stairs.
No.
That's what everybody said. Okay.
Oh, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't on the stairs. She was just going from the, have you been in the basement? She was going from the kitchen area into wherever they were just going to go upstairs, and it was just that little bit of a, you know, buildup of the carpet against the linoleum, and she caught her toe. And here's the corner of the wall, so she hit right on the corner of her toe. She's doing pretty good. She was in rehab for a couple of weeks and then she went home because her insurance ran out, and But yeah, she's been home for a week and a half now, I think. And she's doing pretty good, yeah. Considering she's gonna be going for a long time before she's,
How old is she?
she's 10 years older than me, so she has to be like 82.
Wow.
She's hard, yeah.
Well, you guys are no longer allowed on the stairs. You can call me and say, Angie, I need help. Like, we got you. I got plenty of people that can help.
But then we have Anne that's 94, she goes down.
No.
And she's perfectly.
So I've been down those stairs. Is it just because they're not to code? They're kind of choppy or short or weird.
they're a little
Walkways
bit-
narrow.
Yeah, because they go down a little steep and then when they hit, there's just a little bit of a landing that you have to go off of. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if they would have continued with the steps, they would have run right to the wall. Yeah. So that's why the
Yeah,
steps
that
are.
actually that may be a little harder to deal with.
So I don't think there's any fixing that. We just need a new building.
You could, yeah. Yeah, you build it. I mean, it's bound, it's gotta happen at some point anyway.
I hope so. I hope so.
But it's the, and I don't know if we spend tons of time on it, but it's the concern with the basement, just that things need to be out of the basement and up.
Well, actually, the city come and cleaned out a lot because we had a lot of junk down there, like old computers and monitors and just junk we had put down there. So the city came just a few weeks ago and took a lot of that out.
Okay.
But we do have still a lot of antique stuff that we just don't have room to display at this point.
So if Annie could help disposition it, I mean,
Yeah.
I myself and maybe other people could help kind of move stuff out. And then maybe the near term good solution might be just not to have anything down there.
Yeah.
I only got up the stairs because we thought that was tripped on the stairs, so.
And they
That's
made it
my
to the
worry.
stairs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all that saddens me that you guys got that stupid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was just leaving the kitchen.
I'm going to fix the story later, but that was the original one that I heard. so.
Yeah, I hope I didn't blow everything.
Well, I'll get you guys in touch. I just sent you each other's numbers and then I'll stay in touch with you about getting the updated list for the verbal histories.
Okay.
And then you'll come to our walking tour in a few weeks. Perfect.
Great.
Okay, Jason.
Yes,
Plaque.
actually two things. Plaque. I was asked to get another bid. The company that was the other bid actually is the same company for the first bid. So they are no idea, probably, sometimes with small businesses, one business will buy the contracts and contacts from another. I don't know. I mean, it just looks like at some point it ended up being the same company. Jen threw out another one that I couldn't find any other information about that Parks and Rec uses. I have not called them. I did get a hold of so Parks and Rec is RET. And they do a few things different than Trails and Open Space, which is Greg and Rick. So I closed the loop on Greg and Rick. We don't want to work with the sign companies that they use. They use about their, like if you wanted to put signs up in a factory for safety and stuff like that, that's what they use. Those companies don't do interpretive work. We don't want to contract with them. So I did at least was able to cross one possibility. I will reach out to the one that you sent and just see if I can get maybe some examples of their work and see if it's worth bidding.
I'm sorry, we do have some company that we worked with for signs out in our farm area.
Do you remember?
I don't, but we can find out.
Would you
Yeah,
send me a note? But
okay, yeah, because we need to replace a lot of ours. Because ours are in the heat of the sun all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of them have totally
Degradation.
gone, so, but I think they last pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll get you the name of the sign.
So the reason why we're talking about it is that the difference in cost between a sign that EnviroSigns did, a year or two ago and now it's about $1,000, which given what I understand of materials and cost of doing things really doesn't seem too far out of normal for right now. I mean, costs of things have really gone up. especially anything that has steel components for raw materials right now are gonna skyrocket because people that are using those raw materials in large amounts are contracting it for 5-year contract terms to get ahead of tariffs. So it makes it really a big, huge disruption in supply chain. Same thing happened in 2016. So is there a rationale for it being $1,000 more? 100%. I'm not sure though with if this other company, if they're newer and they're more competitive, we might be able to get a better deal with them.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of signs they do. I know community development uses them for yellow notice signs that you see around. I don't know what kind of signs Parks and Rec uses them for. So reach out, see
Okay.
see
Yeah,
what they do.
I'll do something similar to what we did with the video tour stuff. Just look for examples of similar success. I mean, if they've done some contracts that they can show us evidence that they have the capability of doing what we want them to, then I think it'd probably be worth having another bid. I did do a little bit of an internet search. I have not been able to find anybody who is in that line of work other than bioscience. They seem to be it.
Wow.
That has a website. The other one that Jen gave me, they don't have a website. They have phone and contact, and they're on Yelp. Okay, so that's that one. So we don't have an answer on what we want to do yet. The crowdsource history, the idea came up because I do a lot of other projects in open space. And often, especially if I'm working around the steep mountain area, the Widowmaker comes up. And if I'm working with people who have been, in Utah for a long time, then they'll say, "Oh, isn't that where the Widowmaker race was?" And I'll say, "Yeah, we'll start talking about it a little bit." And inevitably, everybody I talk to has some connection point to that race. If they grew up in that period of time, just like we talked, and a lot of people in this room have stories about the Widowmakers. So the idea might be that we provide a space that's curated for people to upload their stories about the Widowmaker race. And maybe this goes beyond just Widowmaker. So the idea is that we would maybe crowdsource some of this information. I don't have enough time to capture all the stories that I hear. I just don't. It's just not possible. I could imagine a collection of us working with a story that someone might upload to make it consumable and useful for the community. And I've seen some examples of it. Annie, actually, you probably can speak to it a lot more intelligently than I can.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to take
Sure.
example, it's possible.
Yeah, I've done a couple of crowdsource history projects. One of the first ones that I did was during COVID. I was at the Syracuse Museum at that time, and I worked with the local schools to crowdsource what the kids were experiencing being at home. It was right after the shutdown, so like late March, and getting those experiences of what people were doing. And we compiled that and made like a history for that. And then currently right now up at Alf Engen, we have a crowdsourced digital memory wall for 2002 and 2034 Olympic memories and excitement. So people can scan the QR code in the museum, and then it takes them to a Google form. They put in the information, upload photos. That comes to us on the back end, and then we filter out the information and put it on a digital memory wall on our website. Which will soon be on display in the museum. But it's really simple. It doesn't take a lot of back-end work. We just monitor it like every 2 weeks. We check our inbox for the Google form. We filter out the stories, get the good pictures, put it into Canva to kind of throw it all together, and then throw that up on our wall. So it's very low effort. We get a lot of good stuff.
I'm talking to, I kind of sent the idea off to Linda, our communications director, to get her thoughts, and she said that they can put something on the city's website, but she just wanted to be tailored, so it's not open-ended, because her concern would be misinformation, that kind of thing. So we need to kind of tailor what we're looking for.
What about Draper Forward?
Draper Forward is, that's the publication, right?
Yeah.
City's publication.
Yeah. I mean, we can. Well, I mean, we'd have to have something on the website for them to go to,
Oh, yeah.
but. Yeah, I think we could put something in there saying, hey, this is now on the website kind of thing.
So my simple way of thinking about this would be, you know, if we were to take something like the Widowmaker race. There, we could categorize the option to upload a story to, I was a spectator, I was a racer. You know, there may be some ways to direct people to upload useful information. So rather than have it be open-ended, ask for some information in a way that maybe directs people to
Like a
tell.
tailored question every month.
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that.
So what group are you targeting to get the information? I mean, we grew up in the era and a girl in my neighborhood is a widow from the Widowmaker. And it was common.
Story.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, you know, high school reunion committees from the 1960s and 70s. Yeah, never went. It's a bit too scary.
Yeah, maybe the senior center too.
Yeah.
Someone could go to the senior.
Just, yeah, they, the people with the living the
Yeah.
Widowmaker, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have to be directed to draw stories, interesting stories out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're gonna have to ask some good questions to get the stories out that we want, but. I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool, and if we figure out a way to do it that isn't, like you said, it's not a lot of energy to do it, then could we do that with some of the other important aspects of Draper's history, like women's voices?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it might be if we can pilot with Widowmaker and develop kind of some forms and systems that we test. Can't you imagine targeting things around the walking tours where you're sparking people's memories or thoughts about, or at the Heritage Banquet, right? Just different points where you can kind of leverage an experience that people are coming to engage in. And it's like, if you get out your photo album, you have a lot more memories than if somebody just asks you. So the same kind of thing.
We can announce that at the banquet.
I'm not sure we'll be ready for this year's. That's awfully soon. But if we start
I'd
with.
say it was coming though, not that it's ready, but that it's coming and be watching.
Yeah, I think it seems like, I mean, if
Do
we.
you want to talk about the Widowmaker project at the banquet?
It's already planned for this year.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I mean, just as an announcement.
Yeah,
So,
I think that we could announce that. Anybody that has any memories or pictures, that would be great.
yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The subject, when they were down in our basement, going through things. They started looking at some of the books on our shelves that were apparently books that were given to us, I don't know when, from Draper City. It might have been when they moved into the new building. But there was a scrapbook, they said, on Widowmaker.
No, really?
And I haven't been down to see it. First thing I said was, why didn't we know it was down there?
Yeah.
To make a general inventory list
Yeah.
of junk that we don't know, I mean, stuff that we don't know is there. Jason's coming.
Yeah, can I have a look at that?
I give you her number and she has your number. I'm sharing numbers, it's here.
That's what they told me. They said it was a scrapbook on Widowmaker. Because the first thing I went to was you, thinking, why didn't we have this?
It's not
Why didn't we
too
know it
late.
was down
It's
there?
almost not too late.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you guys have each other's numbers now, so you guys can
I'm excited, yeah.
coordinate. Yay.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I think it's something we should run with.
So my thought is that, I mean, what do we need in terms of moving forward with the idea? We just need to
I think I need,
We need to set that up as something for next time with procedure.
yeah, I think. Get me some kind of language of what you would like, what questions you would be wanting to ask. We can put it on the agenda for next time. To go over, and then I can get with Linda on those questions as well, get feedback. Cause then they can set it up on the website once we kind of decide what we want to put.
So speaking of crowdsourcing, why don't I throw out a couple to the group and then we can kind of collectively back and forth until we have something that we want.
Are you thinking of maybe putting like QR code on the Widowmaker plaque up there that says, hey, send us.
Fantastic idea. Yeah, that's great. I like that. Yeah. That would be amazing if we were that far.
You just have to make sure that web link would
Yeah.
never die.
So one thing to keep in mind there is budget. If we're gonna do the Widowmaker plaque with this year, we've gotta order it in like the next week.
Oh.
Yeah, we've gotta order it.
Oh.
So we don't have time to.
Do the.
We'll get that
Change
budget,
it.
but like, my question would be, do we have room with the RLS?
We have the room, I mean, that's a couple of items down. We have the room to order the budget with this budget season.
Okay.
Yes.
Or
Or the plaque with this season, yes.
So I need to, okay,
Can we pre-order it with the money
yeah.
and not print it?
I have somebody who keeps calling to step out and
Yeah, okay.
take it, but we need to move on because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So we need to move on to the Draper days.
Yeah, so we can't order it, like pre-order it, pay for it and not get it like
Have to
we
receive it.
So, yeah, so we need to actually place an order.
To be determined. Next, Draper Days walking tour. We are pretty much set. We're all on our emails talking about who's doing what homes. We're doing all that behind the scenes. Jen got the big sign. Put up
David
almost
Wilkes got the big.
David Wilkes sign put up at the fire department. So yeah, we'll just keep our communication behind the scenes through email on with all of us doing.
And you're
Relation
covered
Street.
with everybody on every house?
We have to go to them and knock on their door and say, hey, just so you know, there'll be a weird person standing out front of your house in a costume, so don't be worried.
Hi.
Yes, so we'll, and I can do that. I can go to everybody's house, just give them a heads up like we did last year, so. Okay, if you need any help with that, text me. Okay.
Okay, moving on to 3E 2024-2025 budget.
So yeah, so end of the year budget stuff, paying, Kirk for this month's work, we'll have another bill come through. I just put in 1,000, it may be 2,000, I just don't know, but he'll bill us again for June services. There is 1,000 left to pay for that if it bumps up to the same amount as May. Widowmaker, I did just put the 37 in, so we do have the budget for that. I had also penciled in NS Auto plaque. I'm not sure how language is going with that, but we do have so we'd have to actually order said plaque.
So things need to be ordered in a week.
If it's not bought by July 1st, it's in the next budget year. So, yeah, so that may go into the next year. And then I had $200 in for Draper Days. I didn't know whether we needed to order anything else. I mean, we found the signs from last year, so we were able to use those. So I just didn't know whether there was anything that you guys were ordering.
I will look at the
that.
other signs in my garage. We'll need new date stickers, I believe.
Okay.
I'll get back with you.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
By the end of the week.
Cause I put a couple of hundred in there. The rest of all of this has been paid. So yeah, I would like to see that we do get a Widowmaker order in. And then we've got a little bit of cushion for the next bill from Kirk.
I've got time on Friday to chase this down.
Okay.
Am I cool just to get with you and let you know what I find or?
I think so, I mean, and yeah, I mean, at the last meeting, we kind of did a motion on, let's get a second bid. And then if this other company, if it's cheaper, let's go with them. If it's not, let's order
Right.
that.
These.
Okay.
So next is walking tour. Or sorry, the brochures. We'll get back to here.
Dave's not here.
So we'll go to the walk tour. Those are on hold until we switch to the next year, right?
Well, no, so we've already paid for these, so the
Okay.
J.R. Allen home and Paul Smith Oral History Home, we've paid for those. We do have the draft. What I haven't seen is the final document with the caption file. That's what I don't have, so I don't have the final to put online. Cause we had gotten the videos from them and we had them kind of tweak a couple little things. And I don't have the caption document.
Are you gonna ask?
I'm sending an email now,
Okay.
assuming I can.
We're not having a meeting next month, right?
No, we're not.
So for the following month, are we on 3G yet?
Yeah.
Okay. For the following month, can we talk, Jason, about what homes we want for next year? Talk, and then have that be on the agenda in August.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I say something? The J.R. Allen house, the new people in the house, I just found out they moved from 2 houses down.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It boggled my mind. Don't talk to her.
Yeah, they grew up right
Yeah.
here, so.
Okay, we'll skip the research since David's not here. Nominations, I haven't done anything. I was on vacation. I don't know, see, looking at some of those places that we saw on the thing, I mean, it seems like we would want to go after some of those at least.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, wait for his report and kind of come up with an idea of our plan of attack. Also side note on that, I reached out to Coral again for the Carol's house.
Is that on there?
And I've not heard back. So I got a reply from her and then I reached out again and then nothing. So I'll just keep following up. I figure it'll be next budget anyway, so
Yeah, or I mean, if we need to, because I mean, Chippo has that list.
yeah, that's true.
Contact some other people if we need to.
Yeah, I think that's.
You're right, I mean, it's something we can hold off on because it's gonna be next budget year anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be rush. Wendy,
I will have something out to everybody by the time we meet in August about the Galena Suit County Preserve.
Great.
If we get back to that, and can I just add a note? I'm also gonna put on the agenda for August, a discussion about America 250.
Yay,
Get ready.
it's coming, it's coming.
I honestly was not aware. They said it took me saying like, oh, okay, yeah.
America
250, what-
250 years since.
Yeah. Okay, so then the last item is the Weber Community Festival.
Which is up in Ogden at Fort Buenaventura. From 4 to 8 on June 28th, which is similar to what we've been talking about on the minority history research. It's what their county heritage is doing a festival. I'm gonna go.
Go.
Awesome.
Report back.
So action items for for 2 months.
Yeah. Let's see, I have that I will load the RLS information, the PowerPoint and info to the cloud for you guys. I'll see if Alex is available to help with the oral history videos after Draper Days is done. Annie and Jason will get with the Historical Society and helping them with their organization. Jason to get another bit on Widowmaker sign. And then Jason to get with Bryce on the videos and caption files. Wendy to work on preserve website language. And that's all I have.
Angie will get with Jennifer on the signs for Draper City walking tour.
Annie and Krista will get a NS Auto out to everyone in the next couple of days.
Annie and Chance need metal poles for your signs. We got some tough. 5 years ago at our house, we're still storing, you know,
Talk
that's
to me about them after, and then we'll see if we can get.
very sturdy. They've weathered 5 winters.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it
We'd like
after.
to get rid of. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, cool. Well then, thanks for coming, everybody. I can get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
We are adjourned.
We're out of here.
Motion.
I signed up for that oral history thing and then I got pulled into work. Did you go?
No, but there's another one coming
I
out.
was gonna say, I bet it was somebody from the collections preservation
Yeah, I will.
program. So yeah, this is also